The best founders I found are the ones who are very long-term thinkers. So even decisions that maybe they shouldn't care that much about early on, they fixate on because they are not building a house. They're putting bricks in the foundation of a skyscraper, at least in their minds. And so what you're looking for is looking for someone who knows the space well, who understands how difficult it's going to be, but doesn't care because they just love whatever they're doing. They're into it, and they commit to it for the long haul. So, passion and vision alone are not enough.
Hmm.
I think Steve Case said that vision without execution is a hallucination. Execution alone isn't enough. And then, unfortunately, at least in the technology business, there's a lot of luck required. Right place, right time, market forces, timing, regulatory action against or pro. So there's a lot of things that you control where the platforms are shifting, what open source efforts show up. So you can never predict the outside successes, but what you can predict are the failures. You can say, oh, this person doesn't know this field at all. They're way out of their depth. Or this person, they're a short-term thinker. They're not going to last the game. They're not going to go as far as needed. Because as I was saying, there are no new ideas. All the ideas have been thought of, but it's about the combination of the idea plus the execution plus the passion. Like Steve Jobs was a visionary and a great designer, not because he came with the idea to build a smartphone. Many people had tried to build a smartphone, but it's because he had a very high bar for the design. He understood the manufacturing tolerances and what the technology was capable and what it wasn't. He could rally the people and the resources to get it done. He actually didn't care about the financial outcome. He took $1 salary from Apple. He just wanted to see it done. And he was willing to do it for as long as it takes until it worked. So it's kind of this magic confluence of factors. And then the timing in the world happened to be right. The technology was around and Johnny Ive was there. And who knows how many other factors intersected to make it happen. But just as many factors intersected on his side, there were ones that intersected against him. For example, he had taken over Apple, which was a horribly failing company at the time. Poor guy died of pancreatic cancer, right? He got taken out early. Think about what more he could have created, what more he could have done for the world. He probably wasn't happy in the whole process. He drove himself to ruin. So I think you do have to be irrationally optimistic to succeed and passionate, but you also have to really know your stuff. And I meet a lot of entrepreneurs who are either short-term thinkers, in which case that's okay. It just means this is not the thing for you.
Right.
Go find the thing you can commit to for 10 years because that's how long it's going to take minimum to get a good outcome. And you have to enjoy the journey because there's no guarantee on the outcome. And you have to be really, really good at it, which means that you probably love it so much that you're willing to put in the time before there's even any return on it. So I think the best founders, they have a deep understanding of the space they're going into, enough to be contrarian, and they have a deep passion for it so that they'll just keep working on it. And they have execution skills. They just get things done. They solve problems. They're capable.
I love that. Yeah, I don't get to invest with angel founders, so I don't, but we all deal with people with similar, in business or life. If we're establishing a partnership, whether it's with a customer, a supplier, a relationship, we have similar concerns about their short-term thinking and will they take advantage of us and how should we go about entering that relationship and is this relationship fragile? I think that's a good way to think about it.
One thing I figured out kind of late is that generally, at least in the tech business in Silicon Valley, great people have great outcomes. You just have to
Mm,
be patient. Every person that I met at the beginning of my career 20 years ago, where I looked at it and said, wow, that guy or that gal is super capable. They're so smart and dedicated and blah, blah, blah. Now we'll just be friends or hang out or whatever. Kind of forgot about them. All of them, almost without exception, became extremely successful. You just had to give them a long enough time scale. It never happens in the time scale you want or they want, but it does happen.